So what do we know about the life of the man who founded Buddhism, the man who became known as the Buddha? We know that he was born a prince of the Sakya clan about 2,500 years ago in the village of Lumbini, which is today situated in Nepal. His given name was Siddhartha and his family name Gautama. His father, a wealthy king, surrounded his son with riches. Eventually, Siddhartha found out about the lives of the common people. He realized that all men, both rich and poor, suffer because nobody can escape disease, old age, or death. When Siddhartha was 29 years old, he left his family in the palace and became a hermit in order to find a way to liberate men from the trials of life. 6 years later, while meditating under a fig tree, he attained Bodhi, which means enlightenment.
Siddhartha, also known as the Buddha, grew up living a very lavish lifestyle. Money and power may be enough for some people, but it wasn't for him. Siddhartha wanted to explore the world and help others. He used his outside-of-the-box ideas to help lead people out of sadness and anger and lead them to peace and happiness. Most of Siddhartha's early life comes from legends, although many scholars agree that he was born in 600 BCE. He was very gifted as a child. Some legends say that he could read, walk, and talk when he was born. Siddhartha Gautama had strong worries at a young age for philosophical and religious questions, such as why things happen the way that they do. He was born in southern Nepal, and his father was king of the Shakya clan. His father tried to hide Siddhartha from the dangers of the world and isolate him. He did not want Siddhartha to see that the majority of people in the world lived the way they did. He was built a palace that only showed him the pleasures of the world for his son to live in. At 29 years old, Gautama made the decision to think for himself and move out of his castle. Siddhartha went against what his family believed in and left to find the answers to his many questions of the world. He was searching for religious truths and the answers to his beliefs on transmigration. Transmigration means that the human soul is entrapped in the world by endless cycles of rebirths. After death, the soul is reborn in another form. On his first day outside of the palace, Gautama saw an old person. On the second day, he saw someone who was sick. On the third day, he saw a dead person, and on the fourth day, he witnessed monks meditating. Siddhartha tried hard to think of a solution to fix the sadness he had seen. His first method that he tried was meditation. He studied and practiced meditation for years until he got it right. Gautama followed what other successful meditators did and meditated underneath a lotus tree for 7 weeks until he became enlightened, or having or showing a rational, modern, and well-informed outlook. He went through several stages of trance before he became the enlightened one. He studied space-like concentration on the Dharmakaya, in which he focused single-pointedly on the ultimate nature of all phenomena. This took a lot of focus and concentration. Devaputra Mara, the chief of all the demons, tried to distract him. He was trying to burn him with fire and throw some hurling boulders and even mountains at him. After that didn't work, he sent many beautiful women to him. None of this worked, and the Buddha kept concentrating. After he defeated the devil, he was known as the Conqueror Buddha. After longer meditation, Siddhartha Gautama removed any thought he had of ignorance and in the next moment became a Buddha, a fully enlightened being. He was fully awakened and knowledgeable. It was as if he had a third eye open, letting him see things he couldn't before. He then began teaching his beliefs to others who were in pain. He began to bring happiness to the world.
Buddhism is the third and most recent religion to play an important role in shaping Chinese culture, and Buddhist temples and religious images abound in China. Buddhism began in India and is a religion based on the teachings of a man known as the Buddha, or Enlightened One. The Buddha taught the value of compassion, or loving kindness, as a way to overcome the striving and desire that cause human suffering.
Siddhartha was the founder of Buddhism and preached religion. He taught people about his knowledge on happiness and wanted to destroy misery. He taught people to follow the middle passage. The middle passage means neutral, upright, and centered. It means to investigate and penetrate the core of life and all things with an upright, unbiased attitude. He saw people with extreme wealth and extreme poorness. He found a happy medium. The ideals at the heart of Buddhism are collectively known as the three jewels, or the three treasures. These are the Buddha, which is the yellow jewel, the Dharma, which is the blue jewel, and the Sangha, which is the red jewel. Buddha traveled city to city trying to teach and spread his beliefs around the world. His first ceremony was in Deer Park. His ideas started in northwest India near the Five Rivers, became most popular near the upper stream of the Ganges River at a place called Kuru. When their ideas traveled east along the Ganges River, eastern countries such as Magadha and Vaishali, which were influenced by the culture of the West, opposed the teaching of the Brahmana. All existence is sorrowful, and it is caused by ignorance. They blinded people about the thought of death, breaking nirvana. Siddhartha wanted everyone to be happy and that everyone had the potential to improve. Now there are many communities that follow the Buddhist beliefs and live happy, peaceful lives. These ideas spread quickly through India and China. Buddha also laid out his four noble truths: the truth of suffering, dukkha, the truth of the cause of suffering, samudaya, the truth of the end of suffering, nirhada, and the truth of the path that frees us from suffering, magga.
He preached his first sermon, known as the Sermon on the Movement of the Wheel of Dharma, to his first disciples, near the town now called Sarnath, near Benares. The teachings of the Buddha affirm that nothing is permanent or indestructible, and that living beings are governed by the cycle of birth and death, samsara, until action or karma ends. At that moment, one enters nirvana, ultimate release. The Buddha used the Four Noble Truths as a basis for explaining the unhappiness that exists in the world, and for describing the path enabling it to be overcome. In these he stated that life is suffering, and that this is caused by desire. Yet suffering may be overcome by conquering desire, and this victory is achieved by following the Eightfold Path, where vision, resolve and word should be pure, and conduct, work, effort and attention must be correct.
Buddha was one of the first of many ancient thinkers in South Asia to believe in the advantage of the collective ownership of property. He encouraged women's rights. The Buddha believed that everyone should be treated equal, whether it was race or class. This way of thinking did not spread worldwide right away. For many years there were monarchies and absolute rulers. He believed in public power. Buddha preached non-violence and peace as a universal message. He did not approve of violence or the destruction of life. Buddha believed in something very different than the people around him did. Siddhartha persistently followed his thoughts until his religion, Buddhism, became preached all around the world.